Welcome back to Free Speech Nation. Senior Conservative MPs have today moved to deny rumours of a plot to oust Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. Penny Mordaunt was claimed to be the candidate of choice. If she was to lead the party into the next election, she'd be the 5th Prime Minister in just 5 years. It's fair to say politics is in a bit of a mess. And as a result, more people are moving away from mainstream parties and becoming independent candidates. Nick Buckley, MBE, is a charity worker from Manchester, standing as an independent in this year's mayoral elections on a manifesto which includes a charter on free speech. And he joins me now. Nick, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So you're standing for these elections in 6 weeks' time.
Yep. And
one of your main focuses is on freedom of speech. Why have you chosen that?
Mainly because of what happened to me 4 years ago when I was cancelled trying to use my freedom of speech. And when I'm talking to my friends and I'm just walking down the street speaking to people, people say to me all the time, you can't say that. That's illegal saying that. You better be careful, Nick. And my answer is, none of this is illegal. And we've allowed the elite to convince people that their freedom of speech is now illegal. So that's why I wanted to create a free speech charter.
Now, I know we've spoken about this before, but some people might not be aware of what happened to you a number of years ago. You run a charity called the Mancunian Way for disadvantaged youth. Tell me what happened there.
So it was the summer of 2020. Black Lives Matter hit the headlines. There was a peaceful riot in London where 27 police officers, for some reason, got injured. And
the BBC described that as mostly peaceful.
Mostly peaceful,
apart from all the injury.
Yes, exactly. So I went on to the Black Lives Matter website, read what they wanted and thought, I don't like any of this. Wrote a 700-word blog on my personal blog page. People called me a racist and a Nazi straight away. The board of the charity I founded panicked, and through cowardice, they sacked me over email. I joined the Free Speech Union, we fought back, and within 5 weeks, I made the board resign in disgrace. We appointed a new board and they offered me my job back.
I mean, it's very interesting because a lot of people at the time just thought that Black Lives Matter was about standing up against racism, which, of course, we're all for. But, of course, their website had all sorts of stuff about Marxist ideas, defunding the police, demolishing the nuclear family. So it was about a lot of things. And, of course, recently the chapter in Chicago has come out in support of terrorism in the form of Hamas. So, you know, this is not an organisation that really has all that much credibility. To
be fair to them, they were completely honest.
They were.
The problem was no one wanted to read their website or listen to anything they were saying.
Yeah, absolutely. So you went through this cancellation, but you've come back, and this has made you a kind of more political figure, I suppose.
Absolutely, yeah.
So tell me a bit about your campaign. What is it you want to achieve?
So my main policy is really around fixing the police. The police are broken across the country, but in Greater Manchester. You're more likely to be stabbed and murdered in Greater Manchester today than you were 5 years ago. How is that right? All the woke nonsense, the identity politics in the police, the two-tier policing system, your guests were talking about before, we don't even know what a man or a woman is anymore in the police. And as the Police Crime Commissioner, as well as Mayor, I'll be changing all that from day one. And if the Chief Constable doesn't like it, as those ladies said, I'll sack him. He's the only police officer I can sack. I'll sack the Chief Constable until we get one who will do what the people want.
So is Andy Burnham doing any of this already?
Andy Burnham is great at saying, nothing to do with me. I don't know anything about crime. You need to speak to my deputy. Right. And that's all he ever says.
OK, but that's probably not good enough, is it?
It really isn't good. Really isn't good enough at all.
But, I mean, surely the majority of people would support the kind of policies you're advancing, because it's about treating us all the same and treating people equally and advancing a fair, liberal society.
Absolutely. The only people I don't want to treat the same are the criminals, and I want them hammered on a daily basis.
Yeah, OK. In terms of free speech, then, you know, we have various developments which are quite sinister. We've got this Scotland hate crime bill, which is obviously coming in on April the 1st. Ireland's pushing through one of the worst draconian hate crime bills that we've ever seen. In the UK, we've got hate speech laws in the form of the Public Order Act and the Communications Act. But no politicians seem to take this seriously. Why is it that the two main parties don't seem to understand the importance of this very fundamental principle?
They don't care. They've been captured themselves. We stopped voting for leaders many generations ago. All we vote for now are career politicians who are basically middle managers. They get told what their job is, so that's what they do. And they're always looking at, how am I going to get elected again? And we've been blind to this as the public. I mean, we live in a democracy. Ultimately, it's our fault that we've allowed the country to get to this state. It is our fault. So therefore, we can change it. We need to start telling our leaders, our politicians, this isn't good enough. And I'm not voting for you because of these things. I'm going to vote for somebody else.
I suppose people feel because of the first-past-the-post system, because we've got these two big parties, they don't really have a choice but to go for either Labour or Conservative. But do you think the future is really independents or smaller parties?
The future is to punish the politicians you don't like. Now, you might have to vote Labour to punish the Tories or vote somebody else. Those two main parties will change what they're aiming to achieve. If they realise by changing we will get more votes and we will get into power. You've got to understand the nature of the beast. And the nature of the beast in politics is, I just want votes. Most politicians don't even believe in the policies they're pushing. They just want votes.
But surely there must be some politicians who are vocational, who got into this because they want to change society for the better, who got into this because they want to serve citizens, serve the public. Well, you're describing there as the kind of careerist politician. Are you suggesting maybe that it's tipped in the scales too far towards the careerist side, maybe?
It has, but even the people who go into politics for the right reasons, they're tempted every day of the year about promotion, more power, and lots of people end up being the politician they despised 20 years ago. So the system itself corrupts you, and that's why we need a whole new generation of leaders who will go into Parliament, who want to fix the problems of the country and don't care if it costs them their career, because they know they improved this country over 4 years. And if that's the end of my career, that's the end of my career. But we don't have that anymore.
So as an independent, you're free to say what you want?
And that's why I picked independent this time round, because when I was going on the hustings and speaking and campaigning a couple of years ago, people were saying to me, Nick, I'm not voting for you because I hate all the parties. I hate them all. I'm not going to vote for any of them. And when I went away, I thought, I need to address that, and I address it by being an independent. So whatever I say I'm going to do, I will do it, and if I don't do it, there's only one person to blame, and that will be me.
Nick Buckley, thank you very much.
If you like that video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and comment. And if you like what I'm saying about running for Mayor of Greater Manchester, then stick around. Tell your family, tell your friends. The only way I'm going to have a chance of winning is a grassroots movement. So be part of that movement and hit that bell. Thanks.